Welcome to today's news update, bringing you the latest on global affairs, policy changes, and major developments. Let's get started. The situation in Gaza is escalating as former President Donald Trump has warned that the U.S. will support ending the ceasefire if all remaining hostages are not released by Saturday at noon. All hell is going to break loose, Trump stated, emphasizing that the U.S. is done waiting. He also suggested that aid to Egypt and Jordan could be cut if they refuse to take in displaced Palestinians. This comes after Hamas postponed the next scheduled hostage release, citing Israeli violations of the truce. In response, Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, has called for heightened military readiness, while Prime Minister Netanyahu faces growing pressure from hostage families demanding immediate action. Mediators continue efforts to keep the agreement intact. Meanwhile, Trump has reiterated his controversial vision for Gaza, proposing U.S. oversight of the region and the relocation of its population. Hamas officials have condemned the proposal, calling it unworkable, while the Israeli government has yet to take an official stance. In economic news, President Trump has announced 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports, set to take effect on March 4th. The move is intended to boost domestic production, a strategy that previously increased revenue and investment during his first presidency. The tariffs will impact major exporters like Canada, Mexico, Germany, and several Asian nations, potentially raising steel prices in the U.S. Trump has also hinted at broader reciprocal tariffs, suggesting the U.S. will match duties imposed by other countries. He specifically mentioned reviewing policies on chip manufacturing, automotive imports, and pharmaceuticals. Despite concerns about potential retaliation from trade partners, Trump dismissed these fears, calling the U.S. the world's piggy bank. Ukraine and U.S. military aid. Trump has taken a hard stance on U.S. support for Ukraine, insisting that Kyiv must provide $500 billion worth of rare earth minerals and other natural resources in exchange for continued military aid. In a recent interview, Trump described the idea of sending billions to Ukraine without compensation as stupid and claimed that Ukraine has essentially agreed to the arrangement. Ukraine is known for its valuable deposits of lithium, titanium, and uranium resources, critical for defense, electronics, and energy industries. President Zelensky has indicated openness to negotiations, though the specifics of such a deal remain unclear. A meeting between Ukrainian and U.S. officials is scheduled later this week. Trump has signed an executive order reversing the Biden administration's ban on plastic straws in federal facilities. Declaring that we're going back to plastic straws, he criticized paper alternatives as ineffective, arguing that they often break and explode. The original ban aimed to phase out single-use plastics by 2027, a policy that is now nullified under the new executive order. 4 senior FEMA employees, including the agency's chief financial officer, have been fired for unauthorized payments toward migrant housing in New York City. The Department of Homeland Security stated that the employees bypassed leadership and funneled money toward luxury hotels for migrants, an action Trump called a betrayal of taxpayer funds. New York City officials dispute the claim, stating that no luxury rates were paid. However, billionaire Elon Musk weighed in, alleging that $59 million was improperly sent to the city. Trump has since renewed his call to abolish FEMA, arguing that it neglected disaster-stricken states while misallocating funds to Democratic-led regions. Jordan rejects Palestinian displacement plan. Jordan's King Abdullah II has firmly rejected Trump's proposal to relocate millions of Palestinians from Gaza. Following a meeting with Trump, the king reiterated that Jordan's priority is its own stability and well-being. While Abdullah agreed to accept 2,000 critically ill Palestinian children, he made it clear that his country and the broader Arab world opposes mass displacement. Trump, however, remains confident that his plan will move forward, suggesting that negotiations with Egypt and other regional partners are progressing. Critics fear that forced relocation will further destabilize the Middle East, while Trump has framed his proposal as a pathway to peace and economic revitalization. American teacher released from Russian prison. In a rare diplomatic breakthrough, American teacher Mark Fogel has been released from a Russian prison. Fogel had been serving a 14-year sentence for drug possession, though his family insisted the substances were prescription medication. His release follows negotiations led by U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and is seen as a goodwill gesture from Russia amid ongoing tensions over Ukraine. Fogel's family has expressed immense relief, stating they are beyond grateful for his return home. NASA adjusts SpaceX capsule schedule. NASA has announced changes to its upcoming astronaut flights, opting to switch SpaceX capsules for the next mission. This adjustment could bring astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams back to Earth earlier than expected, potentially in mid-March rather than late March or April. Meanwhile, the next crewed mission is now targeted for March 12th, using an older but proven SpaceX capsule. Hong Kong to challenge U.S. tariffs at WTO. Hong Kong is set to file a complaint with the World Trade Organization over U.S. tariffs. The U.S. has imposed a 10% duty on certain goods from Hong Kong, citing concerns over Chinese imports and national security. Additionally, Washington has tightened rules on duty-free packages to curb the flow of fentanyl. Hong Kong officials argue that these measures violate WTO rules and unfairly penalize businesses. The dispute adds another layer to ongoing trade tensions between the U.S. and China. That's it for today's headlines. Stay informed, stay critical, and we'll be back soon with more updates. Thanks for listening.